Now, if you remember last week, I hooked up the antenna again because I got rid of my cable. I did a 3D video that did concern me getting the digital broadcast right when the digital broadcast transition happened back in 2008. I was in Idaho, and I made a video showing how I got these channels onto the converter box and everything. Now, the converter box that I had used was this Philco box, and this box has served me well. The jacks that this one provided were, of course, the antenna in and antenna out jacks. Plus, there are your video and audio out jacks as well. You'll notice that there are no channel buttons on the box itself. Everything is done by remote. And so I bought this little device. It's called a SanDisk vMate. And what it does is you can put in a card here, an SD card, and record a program in pretty lousy resolution. Maximum resolution was 640 by 480, and it didn't look that great. Today I received a device I ordered from solidsignal.com for about $37.99, and it was like about $6 or $7 postage, and it cost me about 45 bucks. But it's a digital converter box, has a universal remote with it. It's called the iView 3500STBII, something like that. So we're going to do an unboxing with this, and then show you what it can do. So we have the remote control. We have the user manuals. One's in Spanish, one's in English. We have a pair of thing of composite cables. And the box itself. Now, if you look at the front of this box, you will notice it's got a power on button right there. It's got channel up, channel down, and it's got a spot for a USB. Because this is also a media reader. You can put in a USB with different media files in it and watch them on this thing. By the way, this has another purpose to it, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. I just want to take a look at the back. Like the previous one, it's got its antenna in and out, and like the previous one, it has its composite video, audio out, but it also has component up top. The red, blue, green component. It's got a jack for digital audio out, and it's got an HDMI out. Because this thing claims that it can not only work with standard definition like the Philco, but it can also work with high definition files, and hopefully it outputs in high definition as well. That I'm going to find out. One other thing to mention on back, it does have a switch for channel 3 or channel 4. Pretty worthless, right? Because, you know, if you're going to hook it up to a television set, it's probably going to be through this. But you can always hook it up through that and choose channel 3 and 4. This is relevant with this device though, because there's firmware on the on IView's website that can cause this to break. because this is the one with channel 3 and channel 4 button there. If it didn't have that switch there, I'd be able to get the firmware, but as it is, I cannot get the firmware because of that switch. So yeah, that is the device. And you know, let's take a look at something real quick here using our user manual. This can also take in unencrypted cable QAM signals. Now it does provide, oh wait, I'll get into that in just a moment. As a video decoder, it can take in MPEG 2, MPEG 4, ASP, H.264, DivX, and the FLV format and the MKV format. Video resolution is 1080p, 1080i, 720p, and 576p. And as I mentioned, it's got the built-in HDMI output. Let's have some fun. So with my converter box hooked up to the antenna, I also have a solid state drive connected to the USB port, so I can use this box as a DVR, a PVR, as you will. Now the initial screen that comes up when you first hook this thing up after the intro screen is the installation guide, and it gives you an opportunity to select your English, country, and channel search. If you push the menu button off the left hand side, it brings you to different menu options, such as program. You can program edit. It also gives you the electronic program guide, and you could also sort by things like service name or ONID, LCN. Program edit's pretty important because it's there you can set your favorite channels, you can delete channels, lock channels out, skip channels, whatever. In order to get to that, you do have to have a password, and the default password on this is 000000. Picture, it got a 16:9 pillar box. I have it at a 720p resolution because I'm using the screen capture, but it does go all the way up to 1080p if you hook it to the television set, and it looks wonderful. Channel search, you can do an auto search, or you can do manual search, channel by channel. The manual search, this is where you get the frequency channel bandwidth, and it shows you a quality bar. This is where your signal bar is located on your digital converters settings. Channel 12, channel 21, good solid signal on 21, so we'll get our ABC and Fox in there. I just wanted to at least make sure that we're going to get a couple channels in when we do our auto channel search with this. That's why I went into that, and it does show what we have as far as the channel bar is concerned. Other things here, country, USA, of course, antenna power. I tend to put it on. I don't know if it helps with the antenna signal, but I like having that, saying that antenna power on, and then signal type error. The other selection with that is cable. I have tried to put the cable setting on and attaching the cable that I've had disconnected within the past couple of weeks, and it keeps on giving me a channel scramble. They gave me like almost 300 channels, but all of them were scrambled. Time offset, manual or auto. Country region, if you have it on auto, you can just say mountain and it'll automatically set there. You do have a sleep timer and daylight savings time setting. The one thing that they want us to know about this box is it doesn't have a clock in it per se. It gets all of its time settings using the network. On-screen displayed language, English of course. Closed caption brings you to an entirely new another menu where you can set those closed captions. audio language English, digital audio PCM. System settings, parental guidance, you can set the password here or restore to the factory default. Gives you information. Software update. We cannot get a software update for this particular digital converter because it has a channel 3/4 switch on the back of it. The firmware does not react kind to boxes with that switch. USB, and it goes into multimedia, photo configuration, PVR config, and then we're going to go up to auto search. And see what we can pull in. And our PBS stations. The whole purpose of me getting this converter box is to be able to record the programs and to be able to record them in high definition. While I have this solid state USB drive hooked into the USB port of the converter box, it will record anything that I've got on screen here. A good example, if I hit the record button, it says enter record, waiting. And you'll see on the left-hand part of the screen exactly how much it is recording. And that file is being saved to my solid state drive in a HBDVR folder. And it's being saved as an MTS file. Now, I tried recording this Saturday Night Live last week, hour and a half long program, and if I would have recorded 2 hours worth, it would have put the file size at 1080p at about 8.5 gig. I do have programs that allow me, like ABI Demux, to condense it, put it into an MP4 file, and it makes it into a much more manageable file. But just as clear, it does give me the clearest file recording that I have ever had with some of these high definition programs. When you want to start recording something, go ahead, push the stop button on the very bottom of the thing, and you want to stop record, click yes. And so it just recorded that 2 minutes of a program. If you want to set the timer for this, you'll actually want to use the electronic program guide. And here's where this digital converter box has a quirk. Suppose I want to record, between that 6 and 9 time period. If I hit OK on that, channel type TV, but look at that, channel number, channel 7-1. That's my memory entertainment television channel. Channel 7s are my religious channels. It's not the ABC channel. And I can scroll through this, channel number, channel number, channel number. Now there it gives me my KTVH, my CW, and then it goes back to MeTV. I wanted ABC. If I arrow back on the left arrow button, it starts with PBS. Then it goes back to the channel 7. So I cannot record on ABC using the electronic program guide. I've tried everything with this. I've set favorites, and I've locked out channels. I've done whatever I can, but I have found that the only way I can get my selected channel in is to go into the program menu and program edit and delete every single channel except for the channels that I intend to record. It's almost, because of the cost of these things, right now they're $48 a piece. If you have 4 channels that you want to record, buy 4 boxes and have one set for each channel. The things are definitely worth it, but it does have this quirk, and just so that the people, they do know that this thing isn't without its faults. This week in 3D, actually, it's more like a couple of weeks ago. This latest video is kind of late, and it is going to be the last one of its nature for a little bit. I may come back to doing these, but there are other projects that I'll be working on. 3D Video put a stereo camera setup on a drone in Central Park in New York City, and then flew it over the trees to gain an eagle's eye view of the city. If this thing was made by Hollywood, I would think it was CGI. It is actually pretty cool. Hero Dove mixes it up a little bit with a couple of demos from small gaming systems interspersed with his regular vehicle assortment. Roger Maddy continues his beam splitter topic, splitting into subjects of alignment, audio, and focus. Rupert Chappelle covers the muscles of the leg and the bones of the midsection in his 3D anatomy series. Mark Bennett gives a glimpse of what a Rocky Horror Picture Show performance would look like in stereo. It's everything that you'd dream of. Earthovision diverts from their regular type of photographic and artsy clips to this clever CGI narrative that is eye contact. Gen Ambience exhibits talent great and small, with adults in a race of big wheels and an aerialist performing at Amazon's web service party. And as I mentioned before, my last vid back to broadcast, the previous video led to this week's topic, and concludes this spring series. And I hope everybody has a good week, and I will talk with you later.